The start of the Scottish Premiership season is nearly with us after a fairly long summer. Whilst the club is still doing some business, we are nearly ready for our title defence. In today's video, we will discuss why the club has been handed a giant boost ahead of the campaign, whilst also going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Well, if it isn't our favourite Rangers pundit, Chris Boyd, suddenly singing praises for none other than Chris Sutton. Yes, you heard that right. The same Chris Sutton who's been the thorn in the side of the blue half of Glasgow for years. The same Chris Sutton who was banned from Ibrox last season for his unapologetic and brutally honest punditry. And now it seems Boyd has developed a sudden admiration for Sutton. Isn't that just adorable? Boyd in a recent interview told Football Scotland, "At Sky we strive to get the best people on TV, and I think that's what we've done. There is no doubt that Chris Sutton, for me, is one of the best pundits of recent times. Oh Chris, you're making us all blush. It's almost as if you're trying to butter up Sutton ahead of the new SPFL season." Boyd continued, "A lot of people might be surprised by what I'm saying. There will be people who don't want to tune in and listen to anything he says, but having listened to some of the stuff Chris has said in England, I could easily sit and listen to him. He's brilliant." Brilliant, huh? That's quite a leap, Chris. It's almost as if you're hoping that by praising Sutton, he might go easy on you this season. But let's not forget, this is Chris Sutton we're talking about, the man who doesn't pull his punches, especially when it comes to challenging the wild punditry of certain individuals. Boyd then went on to say, "You can't turn up and say Rangers have been brilliant for the last 10 to 12 years and won plenty of trophies, because that's a lie. You would make yourself look like a fool. The big man knows exactly what he is doing with some things. There is no getting away from it." Well, Chris, we couldn't agree more. It's refreshing to see you finally acknowledging the truth. But let's not forget, it's not just about saying the right things, it's about doing the right things too. And we all know that Sutton won't let you get away with anything less. So as we gear up for the new SPFL season, it's going to be interesting to see how this newfound bromance between Boyd and Sutton pans out. Will Boyd continue to sing Sutton's praises, or will he revert to his old ways once the season kicks off? Only time will tell. And speaking of kicking off, guys, the SPFL season begins this Saturday when the boys take on Ross County. The boys are back with Brendan Rodgers in what promises to be another incredible season. We would expect the two to be in the studio at Celtic Park for the opener, because Chris can get into Celtic Stadium without any issue. In a recent appearance on Sky Sports, Crawford Allen discussed new guidelines the Scottish Football Association will implement to curb time wasting, a move that could play to Celtic's advantage. Allen explained that these measures, including the addition of time for goal celebrations and other disruptions, were influenced by similar guidelines used in the last World Cup. During the competition in Qatar, we saw plenty of added minutes at the end of the first half and second halves. These adjustments aim to ensure that teams can't exploit time-wasting tactics to break up and disrupt the flow of the game. For a team like Celtic, known for their continuous and attacking play, such rules could be particularly beneficial. Allen stated on Sky Sports, "That is now being added into Law 7, and we've covered it with referees and said make sure you get the time added on. The referees will time that a bit like a substitute, and then add that. The result may well see a substantial additional time added to games." He continued, "I do think we're going to see 6, 7, 8 minutes possibly added on the end of halves that maybe had 2 or 3 goals, subs, an injury, maybe a VAR delay. That's going to be managed a little bit more proactively." These new rules signal a proactive stance from the SFA to keep the game flowing and prevent any unsportsmanlike attempts to manipulate game time. Whilst it's yet to be seen how these rules will affect the league's dynamic, it's a positive move towards a fairer and more exciting game for all involved. Celtic midfielder Ismaila Sora is on the brink of an exit from the Scottish club, with Beitar Jerusalem and Hapoel Beersheva, both based in Israel, competing for his signature. Sora, who spent the last season on loan at Portuguese club Aroca, hasn't featured in a single squad since the return of Brendan Rodgers to the helm of Celtic. This has rendered the Ivorian somewhat of a forgotten man at the club, despite his promising start. Having initially joined Celtic from the Israeli club at Bnei Yehuda, it appears Sora is set to return to familiar surroundings. His stint in Scotland hasn't been as fruitful as many initially hoped, leading to questions about his future. With a year left on his contract, Celtic is reportedly weighing up an option of tearing up his deal, similar to the treatment given to Barkas. This move would free up Sora for a return to Israeli football, where he previously demonstrated his potential. While it's unfortunate that Sora's Celtic journey hasn't panned out as expected, a move back to Israel could provide him a much needed chance to revive his career. And for the Israeli clubs vying for his signature, they're potentially gaining a player eager to prove his worth on familiar grounds. Throughout this pre-season, one name has consistently caught the eye of the Celtic fans, David Turnbull. His performances have been impressive, and it's clear that he brings an undeniable value to the Hoops midfield. Tuesday night's match against Athletic Club is another testament to his capabilities, raising a pressing question: isn't it time for Celtic to offer Turnbull a new deal? There are several compelling reasons why Celtic should consider securing Turnbull's future at the club. His pre-season performances have been great. Against Athletic Club, not only did Turnbull score, but his link-up play with Matt O'Reilly and Odin Thiago Holm was a sight to behold. He navigated the field with purpose and precision, exhibiting a natural ability to read the game and create opportunities for his teammates. His impressive display suggests that he could thrive under the new stewardship of Brendan Rodgers. Whilst Turnbull may not have perfectly suited Ange Postecoglou's style, Rodgers' philosophy of possession-based attacking football seems tailor-made for the young Scott's strengths. With a system that allows Turnbull to utilise his ball-striking abilities and game intelligence, he could reach new heights and be a decisive figure in Celtic's future campaigns. Turnbull's status as a homegrown player should not be underestimated either, particularly considering UEFA's European requirements. Not only does this give Celtic an advantage in European competitions, but it also bolsters the representation of the local talent at the club. Furthermore, Turnbull's ability to strike the ball effectively could be a game changer in the Champions League. In matches where opportunities within the box may be scarce, his knack for finding the net from distance could provide the Hoops with that much needed edge. Despite all these factors, there is an air of urgency surrounding the issue. With Turnbull's contract set to expire next year, the clock is ticking for Celtic to make a move. Failing to secure a new deal could see them lose a valuable asset for free, a scenario that should be avoided at all costs. The question that is yet to be asked is that does David want to roll the dice with another contract knowing he won't be first pick? Celtic B were knocked out of the SPFL Trust Trophy in the first round this week. The boys played East Kilbride on Wednesday evening but fell to a disappointing 3-1 defeat. In the lineup for the side led by Darren O'Day and Stephen McManus were the likes of Josh Clark, Boyson Lawire, Kyle and Rocco Vata. It was the latter who equalised for the Hoops 11 minutes in after the visitors took the lead very early doors. Celtic did do well throughout the remainder of the first half, although 11 minutes into the second, East Kilbride took the lead once more. They then doubled their money with just under 10 minutes to go to put a seal on a solid victory. It was disappointing for Celtic B to crash out of the Trust Trophy in the first round. They could have done better against East Kilbride, and will look to bounce back this Saturday when they play Gala Ferry Dean in the Lowland League. The Scottish Football Association announced on Thursday morning that it has appointed its first ever dedicated video assistant referee. Andrew Dallas and Greg Atkin are the two referees who will now sit behind the minutes on a permanent basis and will take a step back from their on-field duties, as the SFA stated in their announcement. Crawford Allen confirmed the move on Sky Sports. In essence, fans won't see Dallas or Atkin on the pitch in the foreseeable future. Instead, they will be based at Clydesdale House, officiating matches through VAR. In the previous season, all referees had the liberty to alternate between the pitch and VAR room. That flexibility may still be available to most, but Dallas and Atkin are set to assume VAR duties on a weekly basis. This development is a significant step into the evolution of refereeing in Scotland, further integrating technology into the sport to improve decision-making and overall fairness in games. Celtic fans, what are your thoughts on this new ball in play rule? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Remember, we have released our brand new Celtic t-shirts. We have our Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirt and our Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celticapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.